The ultimate showdown. Batman and John Wick. They both come from dark, gritty worlds full of crime and violence. But what would happen if Batman stepped into John Wick's assassin-filled universe? For a discussion this important, there's only one appropriate attire.
Tell them all.
Tell me, do you bleed?
Whoever comes, whoever it is, I'll kill them.
You will.
Batman, the Dark Knight of Gotham, John Wick, the deadliest assassin on the planet. Would Batman be able to survive in John Wick's world? Would he be able to adapt to this ruthless kill-or-be-killed world filled with not just the Baba Yaga himself, but other highly skilled assassins with a shoot first, never ask questions later attitude? Well, this isn't necessarily going to be an opinion piece where I try to sway you either way. Instead, I'm just going to do my best to briefly compare the two as fairly as possible and let you decide what happens. So be sure to let me know what you think in the comments. Let's start with hand-to-hand combat, because why the hell not? This is where Batman would want most of the fight to be against Wick or any other assassin, given their fondness for massive firepower. That is, if he couldn't take them out first with stealth or tactical skill with long-range, non-lethal weapons. But Jonathan is definitely no schlub when it comes to hand-to-hand combat, and is incredibly resourceful with using his environment and using just about anything as a weapon. Batman is said to have mastered over 127 martial arts, or all of them, depending on who you talk to. This includes everything from striking to grappling to joint locks, body manipulation and pressure point techniques, and more. And now I'm not going to a deep dive in this particular video as to the specifics of his fighting style, or even what that means, but suffice to say, he's very versatile in any type of fight, a true master of combat. He's trained to take down anyone, even metahumans, and his fighting style evolves depending on the situation. His pursuit of learning both non-lethal techniques and very lethal techniques to know what not to do during the fight gives him control and precision as he disables enemies without taking lives. John Wick isn't as diverse, but what he lacks in range he makes up in pure brutal efficiency. His hybrid of judo throws, Muay Thai, karate disciplines, Krav Maga, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and what has now been labeled Gun Fu makes for a fluid lethal fighting style. He's focused on quick lethal eliminations, often using firearms and other lethal weapons seamlessly within melee combat. So who has the edge here? It's hard to tell. Does Batman's refusal to kill place him at a disadvantage to someone so good at killing? Batman is more technically skilled and his versatility could give him a significant edge. But Wick, and all the other assassins' kill-focused methods could possibly overwhelm Batman's restraint. But it's not like Batman isn't used to going up against skilled assassins and killers looking to put him down at all costs. Okay, so now we have Batman's gadgets versus Wick's practical tools. Batman's arsenal and technology is iconic. Grappling hooks, batarangs, EMP devices, smoke bombs, and much more. These are designed for subduing opponents and quick escapes. He's also equipped to turn any scenario in his favor. His gadgets give him control over his environment, allowing him to escape, incapacitate, or outsmart enemies. Batman's technology allows him to disarm and stop enemies without lethal force. So in Wick's world, this could be a way to neutralize foes, including Mr. Yaga himself, without breaking his no-kill rule. By contrast, John Wick relies on practical, simpler tools like firearms, knives, and sheer improvisation with everyday objects, including pencils. Yes, pencils. Really whatever he can get his hands on in the middle of a fight. He doesn't carry gadgets, and in the movies is rarely shown bringing much with him when he sets off on a killing spree, except for some firepower. And sometimes it's literally just a single gun.
I'm going to need a gun.
But his improvisation skills are unmatched. He knows how to quickly disarm others and immediately use their weapons against them. He's more about fluid adaptability than pre-planned tools. So, who has the edge here? Batman's tech-heavy approach gives him more tactical advantage in controlling the outcome and the ability to neutralize threats from a distance. But Wick's deadly simplicity makes him very dangerous. For Batman to use the tactical advantage of his gadgets, he would have to get the drop on Wick. But the way that Wick reacts and uses his environment could be bad news when fighting in close quarters. And the more things he can take from Batman, the worse it may get. But that is if Batman doesn't get the drop on him first. Now it's on to the moral dilemma, Batman's code versus Wick's world. So chances are if you're watching this, you know about Batman's no-kill rule. No matter how dangerous his enemies are, he won't willingly kill them. While there are alternate versions of Batman in certain comics, movies, and storylines where he does cross the line and kill, the core official narrative is that his defining principle is that he refuses to take a life. In Wick's universe, mercy is a liability. Everyone is out to kill, and they're not playing by Batman's rules. Survival depends on swift, ruthless action. Wick lives in a world where the rule is kill or be killed. He's not hunting criminals to reform them. He's eliminating threats. His world doesn't have room for mercy, and there's no Gotham PD to back him up after a fight. And because of this, assassins like John Wick, and especially John Wick, are very, very good at killing people quickly. So who has the edge here? In John Wick's universe, where survival means eliminating threats permanently, Batman's moral code could handicap him. Wick's willingness to kill gives him a definite edge in life or death situations. He could even exploit Batman's moral code. But again, there are plenty of people trying to kill Batman with reckless abandon in his world. So his moral code could still be a defining trait to stand apart from the chaos of Wick's world, and be a catalyst for him to become even more resourceful in his non-lethal tactics. So now let's talk tactical thinking, the mastermind versus the instinctive strategist. So first we have Batman's preparedness. Batman is not just a fighter, he's a brilliant strategist. A tactical genius always ready for any battle. He's the world's greatest detective, allowing him to foresee and plan for every possible outcome in advance. His knack for staying several steps ahead is what makes him so dangerous without needing to kill. He anticipates every move, making him a formidable opponent for any assassin in Wick's world. His detective skills and methodical planning could outmatch even Wick's ability to think on his feet. But then we have John Wick's instinctual combat. Wick is a master of adaptability. He might not plan in advance like Batman, but he's unmatched in thinking on his feet under high-pressure situations. He's capable of making life or death decisions in the blink of an eye and turning the tide of a battle without needing time to think. In chaotic, fast-moving situations, he's virtually unstoppable. His instincts are his weapon, allowing him to adapt to these chaotic situations. Wick's tactical thinking is immediate and reactive. He thrives in chaos, adapting to any situation on the fly without needing a preset plan. So who has the edge here? Batman has the upper hand in premeditated tactics. And while I think he wins the long game, Wick's quick adaptability is perfect for unpredictable scenarios. It's calculation versus instincts, and it's hard to call which wins in a fight like this. Next, let's dive into their gear and equipment, which I separated from tools and gadgets because I wanted to. Batman's suit is a technological marvel. It's bulletproof, knife-resistant, and built to take punishment from some of Gotham's most dangerous criminals. His armor allows him to withstand gunfire, blunt force trauma, and explosions while still being flexible enough to allow for free movement. Different versions of Batman show different levels of body armor, including some that can withstand a point-blank shot from a pistol to the back of the head. Pretty impressive. John Wick's approach to protection is more subtle and prioritizes concealment. His custom-tailored suits are bulletproof but lightweight. It's designed for urban combat, allowing maximum mobility, especially in close quarters, giving him just enough protection while keeping his movements fluid. Now, for the life of me, I can't figure out how a blazer could be that bulletproof, but maybe somebody can let me know in the comments. But either way, this suit definitely doesn't provide nearly as much protection as Batman's full body armor. There are entire areas on his person, his entire head notwithstanding, that are vulnerable to all types of weapons and attacks. Now, how about some other equipment and tech? We all know the Batmobile is a tactical tank on wheels, loaded with gadgets and weapons for pursuit, defense, combat, and even stealth. He also has other vehicles for every type of occasion and environment, including but not limited to a motorcycle for tight urban environments, speedboats, and jets, all equipped with armor and artillery. While John Wick does have good taste in cars, and they're fast and good for quick getaways in urban environments, they're not designed to take on heavy artillery. Same can be said about the other choices in transportation, such as motorcycles or horses that he commandeers. Alright, so who has the edge here? I know I said I wasn't going to take sides per se, but for this one, I think we can say that Batman's body armor and Batmobile would give him an undeniable edge in durability and firepower. Now, within an urban setting where speed and flexibility are key, Wick's lighter gear might allow him to slip through the cracks and strike when least expected, but Batman is no stranger to fighting in urban settings. I do, however, think Batman might need to upgrade his basic armor to include a face shield. There's reasons why Batman keeps his mouth and nose exposed, but given Wick's fondness for shooting people in the face during close-range combat, I think Batman would have to opt for the full face cowl if he wants to win the fight. Last, let's talk about endurance and durability. Batman is known for his almost superhuman stamina, built through intense physical and mental conditioning. He can go days without sleep and endure enormous amounts of pain, which helps him stay in the fight longer than most human opponents. Wick, meanwhile, has a pain threshold that borders the inhuman. Shot, stabbed, thrown off buildings, he keeps coming, fueled by rage, revenge, and an insane, and I mean truly insane, ability to keep going no matter how much punishment he takes. This is definitely a close one. Wick's sheer ability to power through injury might give him the edge in a prolonged violent confrontation. He doesn't seem to know how to stop until everyone is dead. But Batman might also be more durable overall. And everyone who reads comic books knows that Batman's most powerful weapon is his mind. So could Batman survive in John Wick's world? Like I said in the beginning, this video wasn't necessarily about taking sides and trying to convince you on what my opinion is. But also, I like running off the mouth. And I do think that the basic answer is that Batman would absolutely be able to survive. Batman's intellect, martial arts expertise, tactical brilliance, body armor, and advanced technology would for sure give him an edge to survive in John Wick's world. But the question is, how much and how quickly would he have to adapt? And the bigger question is, how would he win? In Batman's universe, he wins by incapacitating, subduing, and locking up the criminally insane. His no-kill rule could make things difficult if the green light was given for all of those highly skilled assassins to come after him, one of which being John Wick himself. But all the other assassins aside, when talking about John Wick, Wick would rather die than be captured and thrown in a cage. And the way he can tolerate punishment, falling off rooftops, getting shot several times, and taking hit after hit and still keep going, is the kind of thing you'd expect to see from a comic book character anyway. The question for Batman is, how do you put down a man who won't let himself be put down unless you kill him? That's not to say that after a few close calls, Batman wouldn't figure out how to beat Wick's world in the long term. The question I have for all of you is, would he need to compromise his principles at all or not to do it? Alright, so what do you think? Would Batman's code hold him back when facing John Wick's lethal efficiency? Or does Batman's superior adaptability, planning, and tech allow him to outmaneuver and outthink John Wick's lethal instinct? Let me know in the comments below. Speaking of comments, I just wanted to sincerely say that I really appreciate all the love, support, and discussion on my last video. Reading through all the different thoughts and opinions was awesome, and I would love to hear what you think about this one. So comment on this one down below. So if you like this one too, it would mean a ton to me if you left a like and shared it, and I'll see you next time they shine my light in the sky.